Test one, two, three. And I'm going to record this so that we have it. So, kind of to kick off this call, I want to do a couple things. I want to share the purpose of this call, and then some general guidelines, and hopefully everybody will pick up on that as they join. First housekeeping I would do is if you can mute yourselves when you're not talking so that we don't pick up feedback, that would be great. Your mute should be either in your bottom left hand corner or your top right hand corner. Just to mute yourself so we don't get feedback, and of course unmute yourself when you're going to talk. That would be helpful. Purpose for today. I honestly, selfishly, was feeling agitated and needing to just have a forum to talk to other business owners and entrepreneurs, because I know that a lot of us are in this uneasy feeling of what's happening and what can we do. And I'll speak for myself, feeling a little bit paralyzed as a trainer. All my clients pretty much have canceled. I did get one rescheduled today, which was very exciting. And our theater is closed. So that's my kind of agitation that I'm going through. And obviously there are bigger issues like health that the government and other organizations like our local chamber and the city need to take care of, and that's where the priority needs to be. But what can we be doing from an economic development standpoint? So I thought it'd be good to get people together for a couple things. Either you could sharing your concerns and your needs. I don't want this to be a bitch session, more of a here's what I'm going through, because I think that combination, when we hear it from other people, we feel like we're not alone, especially since we're self-isolating. Come with be on this call to be willing to collaborate and give ideas, because sometimes when we're stuck in our own stuff, it's hard for us to see the possibility of different things or doing things a different way. If someone gives you an idea or a suggestion, a simple thank you is good. You don't have to justify yourself, explain yourself, say we've tried that before, it didn't work. Just a thank you that someone's seeing things from a different perspective. This is an opportunity to maybe ask questions. We do have a few accounting people on here. Thank you for joining us, because I thought it would be good. Because there's a lot of information out there. We don't know what we don't know. And they may be able to provide you with some answers that you need. So ask questions. From a housekeeping perspective, if you are new to Zoom, like I said earlier, if you're just joining the call, please mute yourselves. Your mute should either be to your bottom left or top right, so that we don't pick up on feedback, which I'm hearing some feedback right now. Video is optional. If you want to show yourself, you can. It's kind of nice to be able to interact with people, but you don't have to. If you are on video and you want to like talk and you're dying to talk, it'll help me if I just see you like wave to me and I know that you have something to say. There's a chat box, so if you want to ask a question or chat, you can do that in the chat box. You should see it at the bottom. It says chat. You click on that. You have an option to either send a chat to everyone, or send a chat to just me. So look at that you can do that. So you can share inside of there. You can also share questions there. Bobby's going to help me facilitate, so that if I'm not paying attention to the chat, she'll chime in with maybe a question if someone has a question. I did send out a survey, which is at the top of this chat, just to kind of get an idea of who you are, what your needs are. And there's not a ton of us on this, so I'll go around and actually ask everyone to introduce themselves. This will be recorded, the survey. I think those were all of my housekeeping items to share with you. So this is just to kind of kick it off, to see where everybody is. So I think most of you know who I am. So I'll go around the screen here. It's kind of like, I saw that meme. What was it? The Brady Bunch meme. It's like we're in the Brady Bunch right now. So my Brady Bunch version starts with Bobby. It's at the top left. So Bobby, would you introduce yourself and your business.
Sure. My name is Bobby Rathwinkle. I own Pigtails and Crew Cuts, which is a hair salon for kids. And then I'm also a real estate agent with Remax Southern Shores.
Awesome. Thank you. James McElrath.
Hey, I'm James McElrath. I'm a CPA with Duncan Farmer, McElrath, Marlowe, and Cole here in Myrtle Beach.
Thanks, James. Claire. Claire, got to unmute yourself.
There we go. Claire Dubé. I am a financial therapist from Myrtle Beach and Madison, Connecticut.
Leslie.
If I can be Jan in the Brady Bunch, I'd be really happy. Thank you.
You can.
I'm Leslie. I own Be Well Meals. It's a boutique style meal prepping business. I'm also a health coach, and I also work for SOS Healthcare. I implement their holistic health program. And thanks for doing this, Gina.
Thanks, Leslie. Amber.
Hi, I'm Amber McCann. I am also a CPA. I have my own practice, and I'm also a financial representative with a company called Modern Women of America. Additionally, I own Stage Left Theater Company in the Market Common.
Thank you, Amber. Kathy.
Hey, I'm Kathy Redwine. I'm a licensed professional counselor. So I work with people of all various emotions, especially right now. So I'm in private practice.
Thank you, Kathy. And I asked Kathy if she would be on this because honestly, there's a lot of stress. And so maybe you just need someone to bounce off of. And Kathy especially works with children and how to have challenging conversations with kids. And I know she's been today experiencing a lot of questions because kids are getting really antsy. So while we're talking business, this, you might have an issue that's related to your children right now, especially since you're at home working with them. So thank you, Kathy, for being here. Amy, so good to see you from the state of New York.
I'm currently in the state of Florida, however.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Originally from New York.
Originally from New York. I'm doing an extended snowbird experience right now.
Nice.
So I'm Amy Novokuskid. I do marketing strategy and content development and writing for small business.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. And Diane from the great state of Nebraska.
Hey, Gina. I'm Diane Noble-Waninger from Lincoln, Nebraska. My business is Denim to Diamond Skincare and Color Cosmetics. I'm a network marketer with Synergence.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Hope it's not too cold there.
It's a little warmer today.
Okay, good. Jean, my Italian cousin.
How are you, Gina?
I'm good, Jean. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. My name is Gene Policastri. I'm a lawyer, but don't all get off the call just for that. And I'm also an entrepreneur, and I run a law practice that does contract litigation. And when the courts are closed, like they are right now, I also help entrepreneurs with their contracts and legal issues. And as I said to Gina in my check-in email with her Friday, I'm a good problem solver.
Jean is a really good problem solver. Thank you for being here, Jean. I was happy that I got your email that you were reaching out to people. I thought, oh, Jean should be on this because Jean has actually been very helpful to me with contract stuff with clients. So I appreciate you being here.
And therein is the first lesson, right? Keep reaching out.
Yeah, get a contract before someone does something.
Well, no, just keep reaching out to your tribe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so thank you for that.
Don't give up.
Elena, I don't see your face, but I see your name.
Yeah, hi Gina, thank you for doing this. I'm a commercial photographer from Texas. I'm currently in Kirkland, Washington, which is the epicenter of the coronavirus. And yeah, I'm just up here. I'm happy that you're doing this so that we can all brainstorm together and figure out where we're going.
Okay, great. Thank you, Elena. Kate.
Hey, Gina, how are you?
Good. How are you, Kate?
I'm good. I am Kate Walter here in Myrtle Beach, and I do real estate photography. I've been around for about 3 years, and of course, right now everything is very slow, but looking for ideas to get my customers comfortable with spending money again.
Sherry Glenski.
Hi, I'm Sherry from North Myrtle Beach. I can't even think right now. And I write about restaurants for a local magazine. And we were currently putting together a restaurant guide. So I was very excited about that, something new. We have all the logistics going with it, but obviously we have to hold back on talking to restaurants. So kind of biding our time.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, so let's jump in, and if other people jump in, I will say hey to you. But let's get started with, anybody want to go first with anything that's on your mind or concern or question, or an idea that you're seeking for your business right now? Anybody can jump in.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, Sherry.
So when all this mess is over, I guess I'm talking more the psychologist type people. When's a good time to reach out to our clients? You know, trying to be sensitive. Do we talk to them right away? Do we wait a month? What would you suggest?
I think that's a really good question. I'm not a psychiatrist, but we have a counselor here. I like to say I play one on stage sometimes. Kathy, do you have any thoughts that you want to jump in with on that?
You know, I think that's a really good question. I think that I almost would follow the rule of being kind. I think so many of us are going to be struggling with how do we re-immerse ourselves into this world. So I would almost think slowly is better. Just kind of sending little messages. And I think it was Jean that said earlier about staying connected with people. So the more that you kind of reach out to people during this time, as opposed to, you know, not being at all present, and then 2 months later you're like, oh hey, can we get that going again? That might be helpful if it's just kind of checking in throughout the time and then slowly re-immersing yourself back into the game when everything gets back up and going. I think everyone's going to need to exercise kindness and patience throughout. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I see. I saw Claire's hand and I saw Amber's hand. I'm going to go to Claire first. So Claire, go ahead.
Just want to say I'm in Market Common, and in one of our neighbors put out for the restaurants a pledge. So on the pledge, it's everybody that's involved in the Market Common Facebook group to pledge to take out at least twice a week. And we've now added either takeout or buy gift certificates. So Sherry, you talked about working with the restaurants. Maybe you can let them know about this and they can share, you know, if they're open and what they're doing, so that you're giving them some additional resources and keeping in contact with them.
Great, thank you.
Amber.
Hey, and this is going to be, I think, industry specific, but for my clients that are on the financial side of my business, I've been reaching out to them and just letting them know that basically everything's going to be okay. You know, we got to get on the other side of this. They just need to hear, in many cases, that this is unprecedented for us. We've never had anything like this. None of us really know exactly how it's going to unfold. But what we do know is that we are going to get through it. We are strong and we are resilient. The company that I happen to work with, Modern Woodmen, has been around since 1883. So I'm able to tell them about the strength of the company that they're investing with. But I think it's important also that they know that at the end of the day, their safety is the most important thing. We can handle whatever we need to do, like we're doing right now via, you know, teleconferences or through email or whatever, but just letting them know that we're here if they need them, and or we're here if they need us, and that ultimately at the end of the day, we're going to be okay. And a lot of them have just been most of them have been very appreciative of just reaching out and let them know that we are thinking about them. So I think that in some cases that reaching out and touching base with your clients is a good thing. In other cases, I can see how you might be hesitant because you don't want to seem like a, for lack of a better word, a poacher. You know, you don't want to, now times are bad, oh, let's take care of this now. You know, you don't want to do that. They just need to know that someone's looking out for them and that they're going to be okay. So it's just reassuring them, like, hopefully we'll be able to do with each other by the end of this call.
Yeah, Amy, go ahead.
I would say two things. First, like the question was, when do you reach out again? Think about yourself. Like, when would it feel good for you to get a sales call from a former vendor? Always use yourself as a barometer for what feels appropriate. If you think it's too soon for someone to be reaching out to you to, I don't know, have your pool cleaned, then it's probably too soon for your clients to get a sales call from you. The second thing I would say is absolutely don't stop your communication plans. Like, if you've been posting regularly on social media, keep posting. Maybe you're not doing salesy posts, but you're doing some sort of reach out and communication. If you're on a schedule of where you make sales calls, keep making those phone calls. Maybe don't sell anything. Just say, hey, how you're doing? I'm reaching out. Don't stop what you're doing as far as outreach to your audience or your customer base, so that there never seems like there's a lag in communication with them.
Good. Thank you, Amy. Did anybody else want to? Bobby, go ahead.
So I think it's important to chime in on what everybody has said. Stay in communication with them. And in my particular situation, being a kid's hair salon, you know, we have a really great relationship with our families. And we were trying to keep our business open for their services to get safely out of the house if needed as long as possible. But unfortunately, you know, we didn't cover our payroll costs to be able to stay open. It didn't justify it. So what we've done is switch to appointments only. So if somebody wants our service, then they can contact us and we'll go in to service, you know, that client. But it's been really amazing because we've made ourselves available like that. People are reaching out to us, and it's possibly somebody that wouldn't have come in a normal business hour setting, but because we have made ourselves available to them in that private capacity, they're reaching out to us. And I think, as Sherry, you could just, again, always make yourself available, because everybody's time frame of when they're going to be ready to get back to normal is going to be different, if that makes sense. So you don't want to be like, well, I'm closed for business until this is passed. But no, I think it's important that we have to keep ourselves relevant and make ourselves available, because when I'm ready or you're ready is going to be different from the next person, and they need to know that we're ready and waiting for them at their earliest convenience, so to say. So I think that constant communication is a must do.
Thanks, Bobby. Go ahead, Leslie. Got to unmute yourself.
Unmute it. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, so what everybody said is so on point. And one of the things that I thought of, I have a very boutique-y business now. I used to have a brick and mortar. I don't anymore. So my business is super personal right now. And I've already had some people say to me, can I refer some of my friends to you? Because they are getting this very personal service. So in keeping with what everybody just said, if you keep in contact with your customers and you show just good faith and you wanting to know their well-being and how they're doing, how they're holding up, you're going to come up in, your business is going to come up in conversation. So that hopefully when this does pass and people are starting to reach out and move around, they'll be thinking of, oh wait, I just heard about this haircutting place, or I just heard about this restaurant, or I just heard about this attorney, or, you know, just in conversation, because you're just staying in front of your people you already care about, who are your customers. Mm-hmm. So I think referrals could be something that comes out of this if we stay really connected. I tend to shy away because I don't want to be in anybody's face. That's my personality, and I don't want to feel overbearing. But at the same time, they kind of expect me to show up, so I still have to show up in some form.
Thanks, Leslie. Amy?
Yeah, I think this is another really great opportunity to be really honest and transparent with your customers, right? Like there's a tendency in your marketing to paint this really super rosy picture about how awesome your business is and how well it's doing. And everybody's kind of in the same boat right now where things are not great. So it's okay to like be that way with your customers also, because they're going to get it. They're going to understand. So like with the hair salon, the children's hair salon business, like, you know, be honest that you cut payroll and you're doing what you can to help your employees. And this is the steps that we're taking. You know, you don't have to air your dirty laundry, but being transparent and honest in a time like this is okay.
Thanks, Amy. One thing that I want to add to this is something that I've been thinking about. What can you do right now to create some value for your existing clients or potential clients? I mean, we're all in the same place. A lot of you know me or have worked with me, and I'm not one that's big on trading services at all. I'm sure the accountants in the room can talk about what the value of that is. But I think at this time right now, because people have such cash flow problems, what can we do to actually help each other? And maybe it's exchanging of services in an in-kind kind of way. So like, for example, Amy does some marketing. Is there something that someone can offer Amy in exchange for her services, so that, you know, I have a number of things that need to happen and get done, but I don't have the money to get them done right now. But I have services. So is that something I could be doing to keep my business moving forward? So that might be something to think about, especially Sherry, for what you guys do. You know, restaurants are an important part of your business for advertising, but your reality is that they're all closed and they have no money to spend. So your challenge of ramping back up is going to truly be a challenge. Is there something that you can do to stay top of mind and be doing reviews or bringing back old reviews or recycling some of that, or giving some free advertising when it's time for restaurants to reopen? Is that something that you guys can do to just help stimulate, because they're going to have no cash flow to be spending money on advertising? So that's something I'm looking at, is what's some online training I can do. I'm thinking about providing some online sales training for all the hotels in our area for their sales departments. Because I was actually going to do that anyway before all of this happened, in exchange for leads from them, because they said yes to that. So James, go ahead, James.
I was going to say, you know, from an accounting standpoint, you know, maybe you can't spend the cash, but I think loyalty, brand loyalty is built on being there when people need you. And, you know, the ones that have been with us for a long time, we work with, and you know, we do those things. But like you're saying, if you can help them through social media or top of mind referrals and that sort of thing, that goes a long way. And they do remember that, and they do see that. So that, I think that's very important. Yeah. People remember when you were there for them in the good times and the bad times.
Right. Thank you, James. Claire, and then I'll go to Eugene.
Gina, I was thinking, at least on your end, I know conferences are being canceled, some postponed, but some canceled. I'm at that stage where I'm getting ready to cancel one. But because we want to keep the members' momentum going, we want to be able to offer stuff for them. So we're toying with the idea of the speakers we would have used to doing webinars. So it's a lesser cost. Mm-hmm. And I'm just thinking for you on that purpose, for a lot of the maybe conferences that got canceled or things, because they want to hold on to that momentum, you could do something that is like a webinar set to keep your foot in the door as well.
Yeah, thank you. And that is something that I'm starting to do. Every opportunity I have for a webinar or a podcast, or just creating that for the clients who've had to cancel, that just keeps me in front of them. It's not bringing cash flow right now, but like James said, it'll be remembered later. Thank you for that. Did I see another hand?
Yeah, you were.
There, that's right, Eugene.
You were going to come to me.
I was coming to Eugene, sorry.
So, you know, and this ties in perfectly with what Claire was saying. It seems to me that right now we have had a new normal foisted on us. Mm-hmm. Nobody really knows how long the disruption is going to last. Today, our governor in Maryland closed all non-essential businesses. The lawyers found it hard to believe that they were non-essential, but it's true. And, you know, they're following suit because Pennsylvania did it last week. I think New Jersey did it yesterday. I'm not sure whether or not New York has done it, but that's going to become the trend. And nobody really knows when the let up is going to be. And it seems to me that what I'm doing with my clients and my referral sources and my friends is promoting as much as we can get done online or virtually. For example, the courthouses have been closed for the last week and a half, except for emergency hearings. Eventually, they're going to start opening. Eventually, they're going to start having hearings, you know, either online, Zoom, telephonically. And, you know, the way you file stuff in the Montgomery County, Maryland courthouse is you put it in the late box, you know, which is where you put things for after hours. And then if something needs attention, you call. And that's been working out. And so, for example, for the restaurateurs, it may be that you develop a recipe of the day type of thing as it comes to mind. So they can now, you know, learn how to prepare this stuff at home. And, you know, you put it in little like magnet style, it's on the refrigerator, you know, who they're thinking of. But at some point, we're going to have to begin running commerce again and people are going to adjust. People are going to figure out ways to keep the economy moving. People are going to start getting paid again. And, you know, but in the next few weeks, we don't want to be, we want to be giving away our best stuff. We want to be giving away a lot of stuff because when you give away stuff, you're showing that you care, that you're providing a service, that you're not in this for the money. And, you know, most of us that I know, and I've known you for a long time, Gina, you're not in it for the money. We're in it to provide a service, and it's helpful to remember that. Now, it's sometimes difficult when the bank account is going down, but, you know, we still have to hold firm to that. And we've all made decisions. We've all decided we're going to keep going in spite of this, whatever the obstacle is. We've all decided we're going to continue to run our businesses and we're going to do it. Well, now that we've done that, you know, we're going to figure out the how as it goes day by day. And but I think that teaching people how to do stuff online, virtually, interacting with them, you know, true, it's tough to get a haircut online, but it's still the kind of thing that, you know, as much as we can do without the face-to-face interaction, I think that's going to get us to give a lot of good service to our clients. Thanks.
Go ahead, Amy. And thanks, Jean. That was a great idea in the chat. If you're looking at the chat, it's kind of spurred some ideas for people. Yeah, cooking videos, tutorials for hair and makeup. Those are exactly what we're talking about, or is that added value everybody can provide. Amy, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so a bunch of things. Kind of along the lines of what Jean said, I think the new normal is gonna, like, last week was snow day week. This week will be like figuring out what the new normal is gonna look like, and how long this might last for us. And then I think business owners and consumers are gonna start to shift gears and realize that there are other ways to get their business done. To get business and to get the services they need. So using the children's hairdresser as an example, you can give hairstyling tutorials or hair cutting tutorials online. You could also do Skype services where, like, you'll have a stylist there as a mom trims her kids' bangs, right? So a parent has some guidance around that. I think we can be super. I think portions of brick and mortar businesses could potentially move online in as this new normal settles down. The other thing I wanted to say about bartering services, like I don't have a problem with bartering depending on what kind of service it is, as long as you're in a great relationship with your barter partner, so that feels like an even, energetic exchange. But there are other things that you can do with people who you might not need their services. Like I don't need children's haircuts, and I'm not in that location, but I can certainly like cross promote, help other people find your services in this time. I think we as small business owners and entrepreneurs kind of have to find a new sort of networking where like we pay each other back in promotional activities. I'm also thinking about offering super ridiculously low cost services for other business owners that they can take advantage of right now to get them through, and then hope that converts into something when times get better.
I was thinking the same exact thing, Amy, is taking some of my services and dropping down as a service to help other businesses, but also to create some cash flow in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the goodwill that you could store up from that can have great benefits when the next new normal sets in.
Yeah, I'm going to bounce over to John. I know, Amber, you raised your hand. I'll come back to you. John, I know you joined and we haven't had a chance to talk to you. So could you introduce yourself to the group and then make your comment from there?
Sure. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Great. Hey, guys. My name is John Cassidy. I own a company out in Conway called Duplicates, Inc. We're a print marketing firm, been around for about 30 years. So we've been through a lot of ups and downs over those years. Been flooded. Actually, my business was affected in Florence. So we went through that storm with no flood insurance. And, you know, we were survived because we have a great team. And kudos to you guys for putting this group together. I think it's awesome. Love what I'm hearing. And it's definitely making a new norm. One of the other things that we put together a while back was, I guess about 2 years ago, was We Are Conway app. And we have about 19,000 downloads. What we've done is added a new feature on there at no cost to the folks that are on the app for they can actually order online through the app for the restaurants. You know, so we're working to connect that to retail as well. And I'm working on something right now to get other communities like Myrtle Beach, like, you know, some stuff out there for a one-stop place that they can go and order their food to go online, and I'll work on retail as well. And then as far as Duplicates is concerned, our print side and our signage side is that we're going to, you know, we got to keep things going. What we're seeing is we're not worried about the amount of work that's going to come in. It's about the people that owe us money right now. You know, it's that they can't pay. And I get it. You know, we've had, you know, tens of thousands of dollars orders canceled. And, you know, when you have overhead, all of our overhead is relevant to our individual businesses, but it's our problem and it's our pain point. You know, that's what we're going to have to do. I think some of the resources that would be helpful for this is, I don't know if any of you guys, somebody mentioned that they had to lay off some of their staff, and you know, we're trying to go through that process right now of helping them with partial unemployment, and that in itself is like a nightmare. We're not dummies by any means, but trying to fill out those forms online are ridiculous. And so, you know, some tutorials or, you know, some videos might be a really good resource for us business owners to do that, because that just takes another step away from us operating the businesses and trying to, you know, talk to South Carolina unemployment. You know, they responded back to us, but with everything's, you know, kind of blanketed responses. So it's like, I don't know, it's pretty overwhelming, the amount of things that we're trying to do. You know, we want to keep our folks busy here at Duplicates. So what do we really do? We feel that direct mail is going to come back. It has been coming back. So we're getting ready to announce a package kind of, and it's going to be just around our cost, just so we can move and promote people, so it'll take advantage of the saturation program that the U.S. Postal Service has called EDDM. As of today, I stay in a lot of contact with them. I haven't heard that they're offering any special offers for that, but I anticipate that the post office will step up and offer like a discounted rate. And what we'll do is we'll create, looking to see if I've got something, but it'll be a big postcard, something like that we would do a shared real estate. And we want to promote your business. It'd be, $25, something like that. And we'll mail out to 2,000, local homes and residences, just to drive them to your website or something like that. It's not about selling people, but we got to let folks know that, commerce has to keep on going, and we have to, business, we got to keep going. This is going to filter out a lot of folks that don't get creative, this is what a true entrepreneur does, right? We've been faced with obstacles all our lives. I know a lot of you guys on this, and you guys are true entrepreneurs, and you'll get past this. It's just gonna, it sucks going through the shit, so we just got to go through it. And that's the only way to do it. And it's through help, and it's through resources, and it's through transparency, as you guys mentioned. So, that's my little bit of story and what we're trying to do. If you guys got any ideas or anything you want to throw to me, just feel free to. We're definitely not going to be a part of the problem by gouging. We're going to be part of the solution by taking a lower to no profit margin to get through this thing.
John, I saw a story somewhere, I don't remember where it was, where there was a printing company that was printing signage for restaurants to help them out. I don't know if that's something that you could do or something along those lines, even if it's just the sign that says, come pick up your food here.
We did one for a local Crafty Rooster, and we promoted that pretty big. So some banners, and what we did is cut our price way down, and we tried to maximize the print space. So we made it very non-frills, meaning that it needs to be these sizes. And that way I can maximize it, but I can also offer it at a real low price. Because, to come up with a program right now, a stimulus marketing package that costs a business $300, $500, whatever it is, guys, they don't have it. They can't even think that way. So we got to create something that is palatable for them, $95, and it's going to get you X, Y, and Z. And just to get your name out there.
Yeah, and kind of segueing from that, I know, Amber, you had raised your hand, and I'm not sure if you still had something, but I want to throw this over to our accounting people. John, you mentioned clients who aren't able to pay. I have the same scenario. So I've got some outstanding receivables that I don't anticipate seeing that money right now. And it would be so great to see that money right now for cash flow purposes. Any comments, first from Amber and then maybe from James, on those of us who have outstanding receivables?
Yeah, that's definitely a concern. That's definitely a concern. I normally don't have the problem. I normally am able to send work out, get invoices out, and clients send me payment either when they pick it up or very timely after. It is a concern, so we're having to monitor that. But we're also having to balance that, especially for my clients who are getting refunds, with the fact that there's some nature. I mean, we got to be kind, and if they need their refund, we still have to do it. We still have to give people what they need to get their refunds, and to get these things taken care of. And I do feel like that at the end of the day, when this is over, they're going to remember that we did that. And yeah, I may have a handful of clients who don't pay me. Hopefully it's just a handful. But I think I'm charging up that Karma credit card, so I know that at some point it'll come back to us. Just to hop on to what John was saying a second ago, us continuing to do what it is that we do is going to give hope to people. If we stop doing what we're doing, we're done. It's done. we have to continue to work hard. We have to continue to take care of our clients and be adaptable. I mean, lots of things are going to be changing and we don't really know what they are. So we should be in the back of our head thinking about how are we going to plan for the future. Maybe the first thing we have to do is take a realistic look at what we're spending money on. This is of course coming from a financial perspective. Let's readjust our budgets. Is there something we can cut back on? That's the first thing that we have to do. And we're going to have to make some changes and hopefully they're temporary. But if we, lay down in the fetal position and just let what's happening happen to us and not be a part of staying okay and thriving through this, then we don't stand a chance. But if we just do what we've always done as entrepreneurs, I know for me, and I probably for most of you guys, I'm not idle well. If I don't have something to do, I'm antsy and agitated. So just do whatever it is you would be doing. Do it anyway, because at the end of the day, you will see the benefit from it. It may take longer. But what is your choice really? What is your choice? That's all.
Well, that's why I scheduled this call today, because I was getting very antsy and needed to feel like I was doing something.
I completely understand.
So thanks. James, do you have anything to add?
Well, I wanted to add on to what Amber was saying, in the sense that, depending on your relationship with the client, if they owe you a large number, I like to have my clients at least communicate with me, send me something. If they're working with me and they're sending me $25 or $30 a week or something like that, they haven't forgotten you. And that 25 or $30 a week, depending on the number of clients you're working with, could add up to, some groceries over the period. So, try and be creative with your terms. And if you can get them to give you something, at least you start the pipeline flowing again.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I stay on top of my receivables, but the ones that are outstanding were the ones that were like due right now. And then shit hit the fan. So it's not huge, but every penny counts right now. Claire, did you have something?
Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback on what James just said. Being proactive definitely puts you more in the control end. Today I sent out letters to tenants, empathizing with the situation that's going on, and in this case said that for April we will be postponing rent. So it wasn't canceling it out or negating it out, but postponing it to a later date. And I think in this case, as James said, if you send out letters that say, again, being empathetic and negotiating the deals where you say, I realize that $1,500 is due right now, given the circumstances, we're going to break out your payments in 5 installments, so that you acknowledge, because we're all going through the same thing too. I mean, if I don't get rents, I can't pay the bills. I mean, so the first thing people do is not want to pay the landlord. And the landlord has obligations, and banks aren't waiving mortgage payments right now. So I think being proactive and working with clients definitely goes a long way.
Thank you. Go ahead, John.
And I don't know if there's legal, maybe Amber can help to this, but what if we did send out a letter to our clients or communication about, you owe us X and due to what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Do you go into, offer an agreement of an installment agreement? And would that be binding, or does it even matter if it's binding at this point? Or any information on that end would be helpful,
There is an attorney online, so he could probably give certainly give better legal advice to me. But from the perspective of actually living this life that we are in right now, and the situation that we're in right now, if they owe you $1,500, $250 is better than nothing. Right. So, help where you can. I would have them sign an engagement letter saying, or some kind of agreement that you're extending these payments to you're setting up this payment plan for them. Do they agree to it? and have them sign that to protect yourself. And again, we're talking large sums of money. If I have a client who's got a $200 tax return and I don't get paid, clearly that's not great, but I'm not taking them to court over
Sure.
$200, you know. But if I have a client who owes me $3,000 and I don't get paid, you better believe they're signing an engagement letter. But on the other hand, I'm going to be patient with them too. You know, I think that's part of when you develop your clientele. You know, all of my clients are awesome. I do not have a bad client. So I know if they're not paying me, it's not because they don't want to.
Right.
You know, it's because they're making the choice between paying me and buying groceries for their kids. And I just, for me, give me something and give me something in June. That's fine. Let's put this off till let's give the economy a chance to get going again. But I think that it depends completely on your person, you know, your situation with your client, how you guys personally interact, what their past payment dealings with you have been.
Yeah. Well, our business is so unique. We're business to business. We have a lot of great clients, but we're in a tourist driven industry around here.
Right.
Luckily, we're widespread, but it's a ripple effect handling everyone. So, you know, our current receivables are over $100,000, and it's just like, you know, we're not worried about the new business. We're worried about the old, and so that's going to dictate new terms that we set up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with orders because we have to pay our paper company and we have to pay postage up front, that we're going to probably move. This is going to force us. This situation is going to force us to be more of a partial down with an order, and then, you know, these kind of terms in order to keep the lights on and keep the mortgage going and the press is running.
I would encourage you to consider, I'm not saying do it, but consider small business loans from the Small Business Administration.
Yeah, started the process. Yeah.
Okay, good. I would also, this is where we have to make tough decisions. If you are going to have an outlay of, and I'm making up numbers because I don't know, specifically your business information, but if you've got a job coming in and it's going to cost you $10,000 in wages to your employees and in cost of goods sold, whatever it takes to deliver your product, clearly I would take at least half of that up front before I did anything, you know. So we just kind of have to adjust, and maybe you did that before. I mean, that's not a terrible thing to do if you're looking at those kind of numbers, but I would take every situation on its own merits. And just remember that if you're out of business, if you don't stay in business, then your employees are going to be in more trouble. So if you have to make adjustments and take different types of work right now, then that's what you have to do to keep, you said you're a printer?
Yes.
To keep your presses going, and we just have to look at everything with a new set of eyes.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do. Look at everything with a new set of eyes.
Which is the improv way of doing things, we like to say.
Yes, and.
Yeah. Jean, and then James, because I think James had something to say.
Yeah, I just want to jump in now because I have to get off the call right at 1. But I did want to talk to the whole outstanding debt situation. First of all, I don't know how it is in South Carolina or in other states, but right now you can't get into the courthouse. They've postponed hearings for a number of months. It's never a good place to be anyway with your clients, particularly in the personal services business. And so what you've got at this point, and I'm, again, to Amber's point, I'm talking about the $1,500 or more debts, the little $200-300 things, that sometimes you just have to let stuff go. But let's take a $1,500 or more debt that somebody owes you. When you go to get an agreement together for a payment plan, and I love the idea of getting a few $100 now and the rest in June when everything settles down. What you want to do with that piece of paper, subtly, but you do want to do it, is have it resolved so that it is not, so that it's a liquidated obligation, so that it's an account that's past due. Because at that stage, you're doing a number of things. One, you're foreclosing the fact that if you did go to sue them, they would say, well, we thought you did a shitty job. You fucked up the return, you did this, you did that. You get rid of all those defenses by saying in there, I agree that the services that have been provided were good and valuable, and I'm happy with the performance of the services. The second reason that you want to liquidate it down is, God forbid, there's a bankruptcy filing. What you've got at this point is you've got a liquidated debt. You don't have to go and put in your proof of claim, and you don't have to prove how much is owed. You've got a set amount that's owed, and that way, if the bankruptcy trustee finds that there are assets, or finds in an 11 that there's a stream of income that can be paid, you've got your debt now in line, and you've got it reduced to an amount certain. And I think that those are the two things that I would approach it. But you know, you're all right. I mean, if there is, you know, if somebody's going to pay you or pay the grocery bill, frankly, they're going to pay the grocery bill. We can be altruistic all we want, but they're going to do that, and that's okay. But you just want to be protected for later on down the road in the big type of thing. And what I find is I put together a payment plan. I have them agree to it. I have them agree to a start date in the future of when the payments are going to take place. I have them agree that they've got no problem with the services, happy, delighted with the services. And I'm not sure how well this will work, but if you can get them to give you a credit card that you can charge on a recurring basis in the future, because nobody's going to give it to you now, that's also another way to try to secure your obligation. That's all I had to say.
Thank you, Gene. James, did you have something?
Well, I just wanted to, you know, kind of input the fact that we're getting a lot of questions now, and Amber can probably echo this as well. We're getting a lot of questions about, you know, what can I do with the federal government? What can I do with the state government? And, you know, we know a few things right now. We know when extended due dates and payment dates have been set. But as far as, you know, the money that's going to be available because of what Congress has yet to do and the differences between the two sides, we have no idea what those deals are going to be. We don't have a timetable of when those deals are going to happen. Right now, we're frankly at the will and whim of two parties who are in the middle of a political battle. So, you know, there's not a lot of good advice now, but what I can say is probably in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we're going to have a lot better answers and know a lot better about what's going to happen. You know, we're going to get input from the Surgeon General that's going to say, you know, either the curve is flattened or it's not. There will be some certainty. Department of, you know, the unemployment people, you know, we've had a terrible time dealing with them. And the fact is they don't know what they're doing right now. They have politicians and department heads that are making decisions and saying this is going to happen, but the processes haven't been implemented. And so, you know, you can call Department of Employment and Security and you can ask questions, but a lot of times they don't even know. So I think just, you know, realizing that they're in the same position we are, you know, and maybe being a little bit calm and patient will help a lot in doing this. And we'll have answers. We're a week into, you know, what we were supposed to be flattening the curve to, and things will be a lot more clear in a week or 2 or 3.
Or 4 or 5 or 6.
We don't know yet.
Yeah. Along the accounting lines, and we're coming up on an hour, and I want to try to keep us at an hour, because not that we all have a lot of things to do right now, but along the accounting lines, I know you accounting people do. I know some of us are very, I know Leslie and I are like, oh, SBA loan, more debt, not something we want to do. But can you guys talk to us about advantages, disadvantages to going through that SBA loan process, or maybe some other tips. Like one thing that I'm going to do today is call all my business credit card companies and jump ahead of the game to see, you know, how long can I go without making payments. And I'm going to call other vendors as well. So could you guys talk a little bit about, give us some suggestions along those lines for reducing expenses right now?
Yeah, I mean, if I would tell you that if your business is going to withstand this, if you had a little cushion, then consider doing the SBA loan. If you honestly feel like that even if you work really hard, the likelihood of you surviving this, even with extra money, is slim, then I would not incur the additional debt, because that you're not helping yourself. I would consider an SBA loan, and I won't say as a last resort, but I would try to implement other changes first. You know, the budgeting thing, how are we spending our money? Love the idea of calling your credit cards, call your mortgage company. Believe it or not, some mortgage companies are already saying, fine, we'll tack the next 2 months of mortgage payments onto the back of your mortgage, so that it's not like I wouldn't do something that's going to accumulate a payment that you have to pay in July, because that's not going to help you, because you're likely not going to have enough money to cover that unless things change anyway. But if they will attach it to the back of the loan, then do that. You know, you're talking, you know, if your mortgage gets paid off 4 months later, whatever. But if it'll help you stay in business, then I would do that. SBA loans are not the devil. You know, they're there for a reason. And if you ever needed one, now would be the time where people this is your career. If it helps, consider it. You know, do the budgeting, do the planning. How much are you going to have to pay it back? When will you have to pay it back? Do you get access to this money and you only have to pay small interest payments from now for the next year? Get the details, find out what's going on, and then you don't have to spend it all. If you get, for example, I have a client who got a $25,000 SBA loan, and it's sitting in an account and he's spending it as he needs it. But if he had to pay all that back right now, he's probably got 18,000 of it sitting over here that he could turn around and give right back. So just don't lose your mind. Make good decisions. Now more than ever, it's important that you make good decisions. And I want to say one other quick thing. You know that we've been extended for federal for filing and paying your taxes till July. Everybody know that?
Yeah.
If you don't normally file your taxes until, you know, September or October, you still need to do the extension, because right now you're only extended to July. I have 30 clients who bring me their stuff at the end of August. I'm still extending all of them. But so just if you are that person, or you know people who are those people, make sure they go ahead and do their appropriate extensions, so their individuals are extended to October 15th.
Good advice. Thanks, Amber. Jean, I know you got to pop off, so I'm going to say thank you and goodbye to you before you pop off. If you did not do the survey, if you could fill that out just so we have everyone's contact information, and then I'll share that with everybody. James, did you have something to add? Hold on, I got on. Okay, hold on. You're muted. Unmute yourself, James. Unmute yourself, James.
There you go.
There you go.
I thought I clicked. But one of the things about the SBA loan that they've talked about in this round is that there's a possibility of forgiveness of some of the small business loan if you keep your workforce in place. Again, there's so much that we don't know, and there's nothing that's agreed on. I can't tell you that that's going to come out, but you know, there may be a benefit to doing the SBA loan, and like Amber was saying, we just need to pay attention to what the details are and make sure we understand what the details are.
Thanks, James. And John, if I can ask you, because I saw that you made a note in the chat that it's a long process, so you've experienced that. How long was the process for you when you went through that? Because that might be another thing that holds you back. If it's going to take 3 months to get cash flow, maybe I need to focus elsewhere.
Well, let's put it this way. Don't let that hold you back. Let that be your motivator to start the process. And because you don't know what you don't know, and you might need that cash. So if you have good records in place is super important, because it's almost like the joke, almost like going to the DMV with everything that you think you possibly need, and then they ask you for the one thing you didn't bring. Can you tell me how tall you were in 1984? Do you have documentation? So, I mean, that's obviously, I'm joking, but that's what it was like. It was like they were asking for so many different things, but it was not for this disaster. It was for a flood. So we had to show, I'm sure it was a different process, because we had to show our expenses, because what we did is we borrowed the money after we already spent the money to fix the building and our stuff. So it wasn't for what we were foreseeing. So we had to come up with a lot of receipts and things like that. So think about this, it's the government and the bureaucracy that's involved. So you're going to have to fill out a lot of different paperwork. What my best advice is that, it's there, the resources is there, is that maybe don't take your time away from your business to do it, but maybe start the process in the evening instead of watching, whatever, American Idol, whatever it is, right, whatever it is. But get on there, and it's still working on your business and it's still progressing. But just start the process. It'd probably be the best suggestion I have, because I don't know how long it's going to be, but it's tedious.
Okay, thank you for that, John. We are at the 1 hour mark. Is there anything else that anyone has that's pressing, number one, that they want to ask? And number two, well, I guess I'll start with number two first. Was this helpful today, and would you like to do it again, and maybe weekly, because everything changes so quickly right now? If you guys are interested in that, I'm happy to continue to facilitate. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, great. So I will continue to schedule these, and please invite others to join in, because I think I think we got a lot of great stuff today, and just even if it's just one idea, one nugget that we could put into place, I think there was some good stuff, and I see that in the chat that you guys have taken away some things on that. Did anybody else have any other comments before we go, John?
Yes. How about just a good way to communicate with one another? If we could be resources for one another, might be a good thing. Not to overburden each other with little tiny questions, but some real, just real contact information. I guess maybe it'd be good. A good way for us to do that is I don't know, through this group or something like that.
Yeah, if everybody can put their contact information here either in the chat or in the survey that I created. The survey also gives you an option to put your contact info in, and then what I'll do is I'll create a distribution, an email distribution. I was also thinking about creating a Facebook group for us to chat in. If you guys are open to that, I will create that as well. And then we can kind of keep that dialogue going of bouncing off each other and kind of keep our brains from kind of imploding.
Absolutely.
Good for everybody. Any other comments or questions before we wrap up? Kathy.
I was trying to type it, and then I thought maybe it would be quicker if I just said it. For any of you guys that have kids, Gina has been instrumental in helping me start a podcast called Dealing and Feeling, and it's about how to talk to kids about challenging conversations with respect to mental health. With everything that's going on, I actually just posted a video on the page about different ways for adults to talk to their kids about some basic emotions, some activities and stuff that I do in the office with younger kids. So I just wanted to mention that. It might be a lot of families. I mean, I've gotten blown up with texts today just of families that are feeling already a little overwhelmed and a little stressed more than they usually are. So I just wanted to throw it out there if it might be helpful for any of you or anybody that you know. So, and thank you to Gina, because she's been a lifesaver. She's made it all happen.
Oh, well, I'm just the girl behind the woman. That's all. Dealingandfeeling.com is her website address, which goes to her Facebook page right now. Her podcast is going to launch in April. Talk about strange timing.
Right.
It's crazy timing. Anybody else have anything?
I just would like to remind everybody to be kind to each other. Make kindness be your go-to emotion. Anything other than that is not going to be helpful to anybody.
Yeah, agreed. All right, thank you, everybody. Bobby?
So I just want to get a quick opinion, if I can, while we're here.
Sure.
If anybody has to go, that's fine. I know my business is a little different because it is brick and mortar and it's a service and it's a retail. But one of the things one of our other salons did in a different state is they're doing an online auction of retail items. So because people can't come into the brick and mortar, they're packaging together the kids' things to do, hair care products, and they've even partnered with other businesses to get gift certificates or services. So it would have a free haircut and a restaurant gift card to use after July 15th that they can purchase now to help generate cash flow, but to be used later. I mean, do you think that's something that would be successful? It's a way to generate some income. I have products sitting on my shelves that people can't physically come in to get, but if I could do an online auction for those and then mail them to their homes or schedule a private pickup so they don't have to be around other people, again, it's something that I can generate revenue with now while we don't have the brick and mortar open, so to say. Thoughts on that?
I like that. Amy, you had something?
Yeah, don't do an auction style, just straight up sell gift certificates. Like the auction, like as soon as you say auction, people are either going to go two ways, that they're paying a lot of money for not a lot of value, or they want to try and get something super cheap. So just straight up offer gift certificates.
Good point.
I don't
What
mind
about
just selling it
retail
online.
products?
For retail products, bundle them together in affordable packages and sell it straight up. Don't get complicated. It's like, a confused mind says no. So don't complicate things with an auction structure if you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, just bundle stuff together.
That's a great idea.
And I mean, like even at being brick and mortar service based, there's a lot of things that you can do. Like do a $5 class for girls on how to French braid their own hair, right? Like there's a lot of things that you can do that are small dollar points that will entertain kids in this time of not being with their friends. So start thinking a little like outside of the box of things that you can offer that are relatively affordable for people, and could create a little revenue stream for yourself. And don't make it too complicated.
Good idea, Amy. Does that help, Bobby?
It does.
Okay, good. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for your time today. I will create a group and then I will schedule the next call. Probably keep it on Mondays because we have less and less to do right now. And I think if we can start the week off strong on a Monday, that could carry us through the rest of the week, if that's good with everybody. And of course, if you can't make it, it will be recorded and then I'll post the recording in the Facebook group that I create. Okay.
Thanks, Gina.
All right, everybody.
Gina.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Gina.